She still looks like she's 18, so whatever she's doing, we'll have what she's having, right? Good morning, I'm Ann Sadowski-Sitzman, and I am excited to get to introduce our speaker today. I have a brief bio. I've had a chance to visit with him a little bit. Great guy, wow. Allan Hendrickson has guided hundreds of individuals to unlock their true potential, overcome barriers, and align with their dreams. He has a deep understanding of the law of attraction principles, which we practice, and 15 years of coaching experience. He earned his law degree and practiced law as a litigation attorney, and also spent several more years in the business world making multi-million-dollar real estate deals. So he's not here for the money. Just kidding. His search for a deeper understanding of the human mind, spirit, and soul, and of our collective human consciousness has led him to many corners of the world, including India and Tibet, where he hiked the foothills of the Himalayas with exiled Tibetan monks. He has sought after and communicated with the greatest spiritual leaders of our time. Please help me welcome. Come on up, Allan.
Thank you.
Welcome. We're glad you're here.
Thank you. Good to be here. Well, that introduction was wonderful, and that's a guy my mom would have been proud of and my dad would have said doesn't exist. Everybody can appreciate that. Yeah, I like to consider myself a recovering lawyer, and if you're probably seeing me, this guy standing up on stage with a balloon, you're kind of wondering what this is. Well, this is my representation or rendition, or representation is the best word, of all that is. All that is. So get the idea or get the notion that this is divine intelligence, God, source energy, whatever you want to call it, that's what this is. And one thing that all of us have in common is that before we took form, before we birthed into these physical bodies, we were all part of this. We all came from this source, we originated from this source, and then one day, we chose to come down and occupy these physical bodies, and we decided that we were going to come down and be on the earth plane, the physical earth plane, this third dimension of reality, and we were conceived. And then about 9 months later, there was a doctor saying, push, 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 and there you are. It's a boy, okay? It's a girl, it's a human, okay? And as you came forth from this, all that is, from this divine intelligence from God, as an extension of that, you were connected and undifferentiated. You were not disconnected from anything. And this is what it looks like when you're not in separation. You ever see a baby? Moms, you know a baby? Where am I at? So I water birthed and delivered both of my daughters, and both of them did the same thing. When I took them and tilted them head up and raised them above the water, they went like this. What did I just agree to? That's kind of the look that they had on their face, right? But the look wasn't a look of fear, it was a look of connectedness and a look of being in harmony with all that was, all they found around them to experience. And so what happens is, once you're born, you're undifferentiated, you're connected to everything, you've got no resistance. By the way, the characteristics of this part of us, this bigger part of us, love, unconditional love, appreciation, upliftment, care, all of those attributes that you can attribute to God, what they all have in common is, I'm going to put myself down. They have no resistance. There's no resistance. God is, for lack of a better description, irresistible. Irresistible, okay? And so what happens is, you're born, you come into this physical form, you're undifferentiated, you're connected to everything. Aunt Susie, who nobody can stand, you love her. Right? You're just connected to everything. And then what happens is, mark this point down in this conversation, an aspect of your mind begins to form. And that aspect of your mind that begins to form has some characteristics and qualities too. Number one, it discriminates and differentiates things. Right? It judges and evaluates and judges and evaluates and judges and evaluates and judges and evaluates and judges. I can do this all day and not get close. Everybody know what the part I'm talking about? It discriminates, it judges, and evaluates. And so what happens is you're born, you're undifferentiated, all of it, and then this aspect of your mind forms and it starts letting you feel like or think that there is a separate someone over here called Allan, and there's people out there that could be doing things to him, and he has to watch out because they're trying to get his marbles. Okay? This is where the separation happens, and it's extremely subtle. And so now, instead of being undifferentiated and connected and feeling in harmony with life and people and yourself, you're now starting to experience resistance. And you don't know the source of it. But it seems like there's me as this separate human being over here and this thing out there called the world, and I got to come up with a way to shake and jive and hustle and flow to survive. And the more I'm doing that, the more I'm getting disconnected from this. Let's do this so it represents it better. Getting disconnected from this part of myself, this bigger, non-physical, all-loving, all-caring, non-judgmental part of myself. The part of me that's irresistible now, I'm starting to have the experience of getting further and further and further out of alignment. This is what we're talking about when they talk about the law of attraction or the law of creation, the law of vibration. What does it mean to be out of alignment? What does it mean to be in alignment? Well, if you look at all of the things that they're trying to teach, you go online, they're trying to teach you got to do affirmations, you got to ask better, you got to learn how to manifest, you got to do this, you got to do all the things. Well, just ask 100 times, stand on one leg, put a little pig's blood on your forehead, make sure you've got one finger pointing up there. If the sun's out, it won't work. You got to make sure you don't. It's all insanity. Everything that you want, everything that you desire, everything that you want to manifest is available for you if you come back into alignment. This is the key to all of it. It is the key, the absolute key. None of the other stuff happens. In fact, all of the other things that you hear about and talk about vision boards, affirmations, what's the other one? Affirmations. All the journaling, all of those things are just tools in order to design a method or a model to get you back into alignment. Nobody in this room or nobody in their right mind would think, I'm going to have a happy life turn out from living an experience of feeling crummy and separated. That's not possible. It's just not possible. So what happens is we begin to feel worse, we begin to get a little more separated, and then we begin to try to think and figure and think and figure and think and figure on ways to start to feel better. By the way, the cost of all this teaching, what it costs, the sacrifice, is you got to be happy. That's it. That's the cost you have to pay to have anything you want for yourself and for your life. Now, here's the kicker. You can't help but want to be coming back into alignment. It's our natural condition. It's our natural state. It is our natural condition and our natural state to be in alignment. It is my natural condition and my natural state to love each and every one of you. It is your natural condition and your natural state to love each and every other person. Do you know how you can tell? Just check out the next time you're justified and right about somebody you're not loving and see how you feel. It feels horrible. But when you come back into alignment, it feels good again. Everybody tracking this? So I say it like this, really raw and really simple. When I'm in alignment, I'm frisky, I'm fun, I'm funny. The timing on my jokes is impeccable. I don't have any enemies. I want everybody to win and do well. I don't think there's any lack of anything. I feel like there's enough for everybody and then some. I'm creative. I come up with ideas that Albert Einstein and Tesla would be impressed with. right? When I'm in alignment, I can come up with all of that. When I'm out of alignment, I'm petty, I keep score. I'm wondering what you're doing. Are you doing that for a real motive? What's your intention with me? Everybody know what I'm talking about? So nowadays, if I'm out of alignment, I just shut up. I don't talk, I don't do anything. I put my attention on getting back into alignment. Because when I'm out of alignment, I don't have much to offer. It's just all this scheming, planning. You guys know what I'm talking about? That's what I got to offer you when I'm out of alignment. I'm not even of much use to myself because I feel so horrible. And so what happens for us as humans, as we go along, we begin to learn how to tolerate feeling crummy. Check that out. This connectedness to yourself and coming into alignment. Once you come into alignment, you begin to flow because there's no resistance on the frequency or the signal that you're emanating or kicking out to the universe. When you don't have any resistance on the frequency you're kicking out to the universe, everything you want starts coming to you. So, if you think that what I'm saying is, don't confuse this, if what you think I'm saying is, oh, you mean all I have to do is feel good and everything I want will come to me? You're exactly right. That's exactly what I'm saying, and that's all it takes. But if you go online, you're going to think there's something wrong with you. There's something missing. There's something you have to discover. And once you discover that thing, which may be in the next link that you open, you're going to be able to find out the key to why you can't manifest everything you want. Right? Everybody know what I'm talking about? There's this thing that's missing that won't allow me to manifest. Well, watch this. Everybody in this room manifested themselves getting here. I am your manifestation. You are my manifestation. You are manifesting things all day, every day. What you want to distinguish and what you're really saying is, not I don't know how to manifest. You're walking proof that you know how to manifest. You're manifesting your physical body. What you really mean to say is, I want to learn how to manifest what I want. Specifically, what makes my heart sing. And what makes my heart sing is different than what makes your heart sing. And what makes your heart sing is different than what makes my heart sing. We're all fingerprints in a way. So what happens is, we're born undifferentiated, connected to everything. Love, unconditional love. And then we start to get separated from this formation of this aspect of our mind, which we call the ego. Everybody know what I'm talking about? That part that says someone's trying to trick you or get your marbles, that part. And then we get further and further and further and further and further away from this. And if you get so far away from it, you start hurting others. That's how far away from who you really are you can get. Why is that almost as far away as you can get? Well, suicide could be worse because now you're hurting yourself in this form. But when you start to understand the differentiation, we all came from this. We are all expressions of that which is the all-knowing or the God. So whatever I'm doing to you, I'm doing to myself. That's why you can't get away from it. That's why you go to India and they say this all the time. And what are they saying? They're saying, the physical form that is you acknowledges the physical form that's me, and behind that we are one. That's what they're saying. They're acknowledging the oneness of all of us. So, what is it that causes this separation? By the way, you can never be separated from what you are, and what you are is an extension of this, but you can sure have the experience of feeling separated, and all of us have experienced that. That's where the seeds of compassion come from. You start to feel that feeling of feeling separated and isolated and alone. Well, you can never be separated from what you are, but you can sure create the experience of feeling separated, okay? So if my natural condition and my natural state is to be in alignment with the truth of who I am, which is unconditional love, appreciation, how did I get off track? I started listening to this little piece. Remember I said, mark that piece that formed in you, that little formation, that aspect of your mind called the ego that forms? Before that ego, you were connected all the time. Every now and then you came out of alignment when you were little. It sounded like a temper tantrum or a fit or something. But what you were really doing when you were little is looking at your mom, and you weren't mad because you didn't get a truck. You were flipped out because you were experiencing the feeling of being separate, and it felt so horrific. What you were really saying is, oh my God, Mom, how do you live like this? This is horrific. That's what you were really saying. How do I get back in, Mom? How do I get back in? And Mom didn't know. Mom didn't know that she was over here upset poking you because she was in separation. She was feeling separated. She was feeling disconnected from her source. She didn't know that. So instead, she grabbed you by the ear and pulled you into the car. Well, that's what my mom did. So what happened? What happened is we started listening to that part of us, which is going on up here, and we started ignoring and losing track of this thing right here. We started ignoring this built-in system that we were born with that lets us know if we're on the right track or if we're on the wrong track. This is really, really simple. The better it feels, the more it's taking you home to what you want. The worse it feels, it's taking you away from what you want. You can call those paths, you can call them directions, whatever you want, but that's as complicated as this gets. If it feels good, do more of it. If it doesn't, get away from it. Sorry, that's difficult. There's no calculus here. There's no equations. That's it. But what you will see is as you start to become aware of how you feel, and you make how you feel a priority. And why is it a priority? Because it goes like this. Everything that you want because you think when you get it, what, you're going to feel horrible? I just can't wait to get a pile of money and a new lover and a job and a new car. I'm going to feel so miserable and overwhelmed. I can't wait. No one ever said that. You ask for the thing because you think you're going to feel better when you get it. And you live in this illusion of time, like, I'm here right now without my stuff, but someday in the future I'm going to have my stuff, and that's the thing I'm going to figure out called the law of attraction. Well, you had to change this all up and start to pay attention of the thing that you're asking for isn't what you want. You don't want the girlfriend, you don't want the boyfriend, you don't want the car, you don't want the new house, you don't want the job, you don't want any of that stuff. You just want the feeling of having it. It's a little trick. It's a subtle little distinction. You want the feeling of it. You know how you can prove this? You ever have somebody that's like, boo-hoo, boo-hoo, she left, he left, I can't believe, I want to get him back. How do I get him back? I'll start being good. I won't yell anymore. All these deals to get this lover back, and the lover ain't having no part of it. You're done. And then a year and a half later, you see the person, they're like, thank God that didn't work out. I got Cheryl now. Right? Right? So you don't want the person, you don't want the thing, you want the feeling of the thing. We are all after feeling good. You can't get away from it, you can't get around it. The Dalai Lama starts off every talk. Before I met you, I knew we had something in common. We all desire to feel good. So you can just look at your life and start to feel and look at and become aware of everything that's going on has a little agenda behind it, which is to feel good. Now, what got us off course was this judging, discriminating mind. And what it does is, over like the last 15 years, I've put together, and you can just send me an email, you can reach out to me and get a hold of me, and I'll send these to you. They are the 15 most common things that people do that holds them out of alignment and won't allow them to have what they're asking for. Believe me when I tell you, this is an extremely powerful, simplistic idea for you to have everything you want. The name of the game is not to figure and think and figure and think. The name of the game is to feel your way into alignment. Get into alignment and then watch everything come to you. You don't have to do anything because what you need to do action-wise will be obvious to you and it'll just rise up from who you're being, how you're feeling. You don't need to plan it out. As you begin to start to feel your way back towards alignment, feel your way back into alignment. Once you get into alignment, the natural action and the things that you want to do to have what you want will rise up for you. So you get into alignment, then everything you want will start coming to you. And you will start seeing evidence immediately when you start feeling better. Now, a couple things that we do that keep us out of alignment. Number one, I'm more interested in being right than I am in being happy. This is a curse for lawyers. If there's any other lawyers in the house, I understand fully. I understand fully. It's kind of wild. I spent $150,000 in 3 years of my life trying to covertly prove people wrong and then make them wrong, and now I end up here doing this. What a contrast, right? But I really got to experience it, right? I really got to fully experience it. That's one thing that holds us out of alignment. Second thing that holds us out of alignment is we start looking for and thinking with our mind, how is this thing going to come to me? When am I going to get this thing? How is it going to get here? Who's going to be the messenger? Who's going to bring me that stuff that I've been asking for? Now, your physical mind can't handle all the possible ways that the universe can bring things to you that you've wanted. Everybody understand that? There's right now an infinite number of... Okay, those are all gone. Right now, there's an infinite number of possible... There's all gone. Right now, there's an infinite number of... Can you imagine your mind being aware of all of those possibilities and figuring out how the universe was going to get you something? It can't do it. It reminds me of the little dog on... what's the Grinch? You know, the little dog that he had hooked up to the sled. He was this big, and there's the giant sled. Right? Your mind can't tell you how it's going to come to you. It's not equipped for that. It overloads your mind, and it creates fear, and it creates uncertainty and doubt. That uncertainty and doubt then takes you back out of alignment, pushes what you want further away from you. Okay? Everybody tracking that? So I've got 15 of these. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'll give you a couple of the big ones. Number one, the biggest problem is you keep looking around, and you've been asking for something, you keep looking around, you don't see it, so you keep thinking, oh, it's not here, and then the universe says, he's not ready for it yet. It's that quick. It's that quick. Or you get the idea of wanting something. I want this so bad, I can taste it. I want it so bad, I can taste it. Well, get used to that taste, because it ain't coming. You get that? If you say to the universe, I want this, the universe hears, you don't have it. And it responds to that. So this sounds a little paradoxical, but whatever you want, you have to give up wanting. Some people call live as if. Live as if the wishes are fulfilled, the dreams fulfilled. Whatever you want to call that doesn't matter. The point of the matter is you can't be experiencing yourself like there's this thing that I want, and I put it into the future, and it's coming to me. Anything, you should remember this, anything you put into the future, it stays there. And at last check, there were over 42 million expeditions that went out trying to find the future. Not one of them's made it back. Not one of them's gotten it back. There ain't no such thing, okay? So this is it. Get into alignment, and then everything you want will begin creeping into, sneaking into your universe, into your world, into your perception, into an experience where you can interpret the vibrations of that thing you've been wanting and show it to your friends. Get into alignment, and then the things will start coming. Get into alignment, then the things will start coming. This is all there is. Why is this so important? Number one, we all want to feel good. Number two, it feels good to feel good. I don't know how this got lost in our culture. Number three, it feels crummy to feel crummy. Number four, everything you want because in the having of it, you're going to feel good. The universe says you're close, but you got it backwards. You got to find a way to feel good, then I'll give you those things. How do you feel good? You get into alignment. Once you get into alignment, evidence of everything you want will come in. Now, I'm really good at this information. I live this information. I create this. I teach it every day. I write about it. I love it. It's my passion. But there was somebody a few thousand years ago that was, I think, the best to ever walk this planet to teach this, and that was Jesus Christ. So as I keep telling you, get into alignment and everything you want will start showing up. What he said was, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and all else will be given unto you. No different. One's a biblical phrase in a passage, and the other one's layperson conversations. If you start the conversation, I've learned over the years, with Jesus Christ and seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, half your audience disappears. But it's the same thing. And now what I said to you was, when you were born, you were undifferentiated, connected to all of it. You were not separated. And then this aspect of your mind formed right here called your ego. And when this part of your mind formed, it started putting you into a condition of separation. You started beginning to get more separate. More separate. Okay? Your only way back through that separation is not to do anything, not to effort your way, not to force your way, not to sacrifice your way, not to work hard your way, but to find out what it is you're doing that's holding you out. Why? You want to come back into alignment. We are all constantly, chronically trying to come back into alignment by letting go of and releasing the resistance. In fact, when your spirit decides to drop this physical form, you know, your body doesn't get rid of your spirit. Your spirit drops your body. Those are reversed. Spirit is way senior to form. Form is just a little window of opportunity. But now as you're looking at this coming back into alignment, how do I come back into alignment? Well, you don't do it. You stop doing what you're doing that's holding you out. Well, what am I doing that's holding me out? You don't need to know exactly what it is. Just know that you see this? See these strings? This is the key. This is what your spirit communicates to you with, and it talks to you right here, and it talks to you with a feeling, and you notice that a feeling never second guesses itself. Do you know why? Mind goes, should I, shouldn't I, can't I? This just gives you a feeling, a one-time read. Why? Because it knows everything. It doesn't need to second guess itself. It knows where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do, who you're supposed to do it with, when you're supposed to go, and as you begin practicing tuning into it, you will begin to let go of that resistance. You will come more into alignment. Back to the child that you were before, where all that was, like my 7-year-old nephew, Skylar says, I can't go with you tonight, Uncle Allan. My calendar is full. 7 years old. I said, what's it full of? He said, play. Okay? So you find out what you're doing that's holding you out of alignment. You get back into alignment for the purpose of starting to feel good, because it feels good to feel good, and that's what we want to do, is feel good. Okay? You're going to feel childlike again. In this alignment state, time stands still. You stop aging the way you age. So many attributes here, the clarity of things that you see, the synchrodestiny of things that line up for you in your life, the strangest things of coincidence start to happen for you. And then you transcend out of coincidence into synchrodestinies. You start to understand, like, oh, by me getting out of all of that resistance and moving into feeling better is called raising your vibration, raising your frequency, okay? You can talk frequency and vibration all you want. Let's talk emotion and feeling, because that's the game. So you want to raise that feeling, raise that vibration, raise that emotion, and as you raise it, you come more into alignment, you become more like a little kid. So I'm saying that the name of the game is to feel good. As you feel good, more things that you want start coming to you. The right action for you to take shows up. The right people for you to interact with shows up. Get into alignment and then let everything start coming to you. In the Tao, Lao Tzu's famous book, The Tao, do less and accomplish more until ultimately you do nothing and nothing is left undone. You as a doer, busy with your list and your check-offs and all the effort and, you know, the sacrifice and how early you got up. You see them on TV, or you see them on the internet, on these TikTok or on YouTube. Hi, I'm Allan. I got up at 4 o'clock today. I ran 36 miles. I came back. I meditated. I checked all my emails, and I called all my friends that I knew from the Middle East, and I called over. And then I did all this other kind of work, and then it was 9 o'clock. I did more and before 9 o'clock than you're going to do in your whole week. There's this glee of insanity and of just this desire to overcome the resistance of the physical world. You guys know what I'm talking about? I just ran 36 miles at 7 a.m. I'm going to meditate now, and then I'm going to eat 16 raw eggs. But you ain't getting into alignment through effort and force. You ain't getting there. You're getting there by chilling out. You're getting there by playing with your dog. You're getting there by going to the park. You're getting there by doing things that feel good to you. doing things that feel good to you. So you get into alignment, everything you want will start coming to you. Christ called it, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all else will be given unto you. And he said something else really, really cool that took me a while to fully grok and understand. I tell you, he said, until you become like a little child again, you cannot enter the kingdom. What is he saying? Well, this little aspect of your mind that formed here, it's not going to get you back home. You have to let go of all that judging and evaluating and fear-based discrimination before you can get back into the kingdom. And I'll tell you what the problem is with that. We are in an expanding universe, and you can't help but expand. It's part of your beingness is that you're expanding. The problem is if you don't expand, you suffer. Yeah. So you're doing one of two things. You're letting go of the resistance and practicing becoming more irresistible, and you're starting to enjoy your life and becoming more happy, or you're dug in and you're right, and you're thinking more, and you're figuring more. So I have a quote that I created, and it goes kind of like this. You're either co-creating with God and divine intelligence as your partner in an unlimited playground called this universe, or you're exerting effort and force trying to overcome resistance in the physical world. It's just a choice. Just a choice. So the invitation is to begin following that feeling and let that feeling take you all the way back home into alignment. That's where you want to be. When they talk about going home, getting home, we're talking about getting into the kingdom, we're talking about getting back into alignment. It is your native condition to be here. And as Christ said, to become like a child again. And what I'm inviting you to do is, and it could have been the name of what I'm talking about, we could easily change the name. You can't go back to being a child, but you can sure go forward to becoming one. So my invitation for you is to keep this really, really simple. Understand that you are a master manifester. You are so good at manifesting. Understand that you don't need to ask any certain right way. Your spirit is downloading stuff that you've been asking for forever. All the money, all the stuff, all the everything. It's all of it is waiting for you to come into alignment. It's inviting you. Everything that's happening in your life, starting right now, everything in this lifetime that you're experiencing is inviting you back into alignment. Let go of the resistance. Drop the oars and stop rowing upstream. All of the different ways you want to say it, but it's all about you want to start feeling good right now and come into alignment and let the universe give you everything that you know in your heart that you deserve and that you want. That's all I got for you guys. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, quick, I'm going to be here in Dallas all afternoon. I'm going to be at my dear friend Ozzy's Italian restaurant, Sally's, in McKinney, Texas. Ozzy, thank you. Every time you host me, you always have the best of food for me, the best of lodgings, the best of first class of everything. And thank you. It's a privilege to be your friend this lifetime. Thank you. And I also want to say hello and thank you to my partner over in Ahmedabad, India, Taryn. Thank you, Taryn. And I want to say hello to my friends in Africa. Thank you. And to my nephew, Alex, at Wichita State. And just, it's so great to be with you guys. It's so great to connect with you guys. And like it or not, we're all in this together. And every time I come to a group, I'm so much appreciative of this journey and how we're here to help each other and how we're here to move forward in unison with each other. So, and the last thing I want to say is, I'm a prayer chaplain at the Unity Church in Oklahoma City, and I would just like to let you know that I didn't have much of a prayer life up until about a year ago, and I didn't know what it was, but it always seemed like begging to me. Prayer always seemed like begging to me or cutting a deal, you know. Like, okay, if you let my mom do this, then I'll do that, and all that. But it was really an opportunity for me to actually touch a lot of people. That was, how beautiful the universe is, to be able to touch a lot of people that it wasn't really fully about me, but I ended up being fed in the end because it was really about the difference I was making for the people that I was praying for. So I'm always inspired to see chaplains and people out leading the prayer program, and if you have a chance or you feel any kind of movement towards becoming a chaplain, I promote that program fully. Thank you, thank you, thank you.